to revenue. Let's talk money, man. The Premier League has actually, um, now public the revenue for teams, TV revenue, and man, let's take a look at it real quick, shall we? This is the TV revenue um, for us. We are higher than Man United. That is, I mean,
It's crazy, isn't it?
shocking to be fair. Is that how far from we are above Man United, above West Ham. We are what is it, seventh, I believe, seventh, just below
5
Chelsea.
less games as well.
Chelsea, Tottenham, Aston Villa. How is Aston Villa that high, man? We went to the
They're
Champions League.
obviously on more games.
No, they're 22. The one
19
less
point,
than
they
us.
got 19.4 facilities to our 24.
So shall we go one by one here so we can better explain to the folks what's happening here. Top Man City, of course. Then you got Arsenal, Liverpool, Aston Villa. You got to explain why Aston Villa is fourth. Tottenham, Chelsea, Newcastle United, and everything below their rubbish. Other than freaking Sheffield United, Luton, and Burnley. Look at that amount. Over 100 million. You're going to tell me that Luton ain't happy about that? All of them, actually. Imagine being in the championship, you get that check.
Well, that's what they're relying on because of the parachute
that's what
payments.
they need to get. That's the parachute payment that they need to get back up.
Yeah, but don't forget, you've also got a lot of wages that they've paid for in the Premier League that they've got to continue to pay for in the Champion, unless players have taken a dip in their wages, which is very, very rare.
Yeah, they didn't really buy anybody, Luton.
They didn't. I don't think
they
did.
No, but I'm just saying for an argument's sake, a lot of teams that come up and bounce back down are reliant on that parachute payment to pay wages and stuff.
How much do you think they get in the championship?
Yeah, it's nowhere near that figure.
Nowhere
near. I'm not 100% sure.
Not even half?
Coppers.
Yeah,
no, anywhere near.
All right, so let's go with Newcastle United then. Live 23. That means 23. What does that mean? 23?
23 matches live.
23 live games.
So why? Who determines how many games we're live on TV?
It's up to the TV companies.
TV
which
company.
ones the pick.
Okay, so who they want?
And it's who's playing well and things like that. Who are the media talking about? And the media have done nothing but talk about us all bloody season.
Well, it also depends on what the state of the league table is at that time, because obviously they want to show teams that are top teams that are playing each other and relegation teams that are playing each other.
Stephen Harger says Sky Sports determined. But Aston Villa has 22 live games. We have one above them, and they're still above us.
Because they add the money, which is the merit payment.
Oh, okay. So let's go to equal share. Equal share means what?
Everybody gets the same.
Everybody gets
the base pay, basically, to just even have the guy. Facility fees.
That's what you're paid for hosting games.
Yeah.
So you get paid from that for just hosting.
So we got more than Villa there.
So because we got
we
20
probably
million,
had more. We must have had more out of those games. We had more home games there.
1 million there. Well, just the 1 million though.
Yeah. So if we look at the merit.
Merit payment is what?
Merit payment that all goes down from winners get 33 million down to Sheffield United when you got 1.7 million.
Okay.
So I think it used to be 500,000, but it looks like more than that now.
And that's in the UK. Now we go to international. That's what all my money goes to right here. So we got 15 million on merit internationally, equal share.
Everybody gets the same.
Look at that, man. They get paid more for international, like base pay, like equal share.
Well, it's positioning as well in your league.
That's probably, I mean, obviously, it's got more people watching, to be honest.
So Villa 19, we got 15, do we? Or 16?
That is crazy.
Yeah, that again is based literally on league position.
All right, so and then central commercial,
and that's equal.
We got 8.2. What does that mean?
Everybody gets the same.
Yeah, but why? What's the central commercial?
That's all of advertising and corporate sponsors of the Premier League.
All right.
So it's wherever the Premier League draw in advertising, it gets spread across everybody.
164 million for people wanting to be associated with
the
Premier League.
Where did Villa beat us then? Because they're like a
league position
on merit payment because they finished 3 places higher.
Oh, okay, cool. All right,
which
so
is about $1.5 million each position, so it's almost 6 or 7.
we are right there at
54.
154 million. I'm telling you what, man, that is proper progress. That.
Well, that's less than we got last year.
I was going to say, what did we get
Yeah.
last year?
We got 154.9 million last year.
Well, I mean, that's just too. Come on, man.
No, but
That
if
is
we
just
finished fourth last year, we
0.2
would have been
difference, but okay.
62.
Yeah,
So,
it would go from
it's
159
going up
to
every.
154 to 162. Yeah.
Oh, so you said 162 was last year.
No.
So
No,
what?
154
Last year.
last year.
Yeah, but we're today we got 154.7,
Yeah,
man.
no, the money increased. So if we
It's about the same, to be fair. But it's surprisingly enough, though, because you would expect Champions League money. But this is just Premier League anyway. So
that's Premier
This
League.
just the Prem, isn't it?
So we
Yeah.
got
And the difference maker in this one, I think, will be the end. If you think of like the last maybe 6 weeks of that season, we weren't in a very interesting position, fighting over 6th and 7th, and I don't think we'll have been on that much. Whereas Villa were fighting for Champions League, the teams in the top 4. Obviously, the title went down to last weekend, second or last weekend.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, we had a lot more 3:00 Saturday kickoffs, which obviously you don't get here.
Yeah.
So maybe lost about 3 games by being kind of nowhere for the last couple of months.
well, I mean, it's not.
That's why the international money is bigger.
It's not a significant
because
progress.
they can get even 3:00 Saturday games. They are paying for those games live, whereas we cut any 3:00 Saturday games are, no live revenue at all from UK.
Now, have we made? We haven't made no significant progress, to be fair. So, I mean, is this what we expect? Because Champions. Well, again, I keep putting Champions League. Should we?
That's got nothing to do with Champions League.
I know that, but I'm saying, so are we where we are, or we need to be higher in your opinion? What? I mean,
it's just who we are, mate.
It's 12 more million, really, if you finish fourth.
Man.
It's just who we are, mate.
Is that Ange?
It's just who we are, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Aussie, mate.
Are we are who we are? We should be higher, lower? No, not lower. Nobody say lower.
We will get higher, hopefully.
I'll tell you what, though.
We are there for
20 million between Man City at the top and us in 7th.
No, but we can
So
nick
going up a couple of places is it's not a massive amount of money in terms of a Premier League club.
We
go up a bit higher.
But no, but look,
maybe make an extra 10 million.
We can certainly nick Hotspur. We can certainly nick Aston Villa.
It's just
it's the other commercial revenue that matters.
Yeah, I think the one thing that you've got to understand from all this is you have to keep literally finishing in the top 6 to continue with the threshold. Yeah, once you start yo-yoing, and that's what we can't afford to do, is keep going up and down. If you can finish in the top 6 year in, year out, Champions League positions, the revenue just will stay the same. It won't go any higher. It won't go any lower. And that's what you can virtually guarantee. It's like season ticket money, isn't it? It's money up front.
Can't change history.
Yeah, together we can't change history. We ain't changed history. Well, I don't know. I don't think we ever hit these high levels with Ashley, though. So, I mean, I guess in that sense,
this is better than anything in the last 14.
happy clap inside. The small percentage that I got in me is thankful, but we definitely could get above Aston Villa and Tottenham, especially this season. If it's on merit, you better believe it. Spurs ain't coming up.
That's the main driver, isn't it? If you look at the names up the side, it's close to the table.
Yeah,
it's pretty much the final league table from last season, isn't it?
That is true.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah. So I like it. I like it. Well, I mean, any last thoughts about the TV revenue? Mighty Win, you are the chief financial officer of Twat Operations.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It's who we are, mate.
You cannot. There's nothing we can do about that as long as Sky have got the stranglehold.
So is that what we're talking about here? Now, by the way, Well, Steven says NBC don't get every game beer. It goes to other like Peacock. Being, by the way, Peacock is owned by NBC, so it's basically the same. The same. It's just you know. Um, but in the United States, at least, yeah, Premier League games, NBC, Peacock, same owner, and then you got ESPN. I had to renew my membership for ESPN Plus to watch the damn FA Cup game, man. And then Carabao Cup is Paramount Plus. Um, Champions League, Paramount Plus as well. So if we got to get back to. I don't even know what Conference League. Who? I don't even know who streams Conference League. So we'll have.
Just in the Conference League.
But so look, we have to see what happens. I think Stephen Harker earlier on though was saying, there we go here, exploited because when you think all the world sports programs watch is South Africa, Middle East, South America, et cetera, Sky and the Premier League are robbing us blind. Any thoughts on that?
Well, I think Sky are robbing us blind.
Yeah.
Well, they're not robbing us.
And the quicker the Premier League realise that,
the Premier League is
and cut out the middleman, the better.
The Premier League is it's not like they're robbing. Nobody's robbing the Premier League. The Premier League is doing it because I'm sure they have to have some benefit to it, Mighty Wayne, or else they wouldn't do it. It's all about money, man.
Yeah, they're making billions.
It's about money and about the will to change.
Now, if Newcastle United say, "Sorry, I don't want your deal. I want to stream my own games," can they do that legally without the Premier League saying, "Bye bye, you're gonna play with the Super League with"?
Well, that's like saying FIFA and UEFA couldn't do something different.
Yeah, but I mean,
they're not going to, as long as the people who are running it are getting well looked after by the people who are paying for it.
Mm.
You're not telling me Sepp Blatter in all the deals that he did wasn't well, we know for a fact because you just have to look at his personal wealth growing and growing. Same with the kid in the Caribbean.
Well, but that is the but one thing that could help us is a new stadium, or not? It has nothing to do with it, and it ain't even. It's
essential. It's essential.
But yeah, well, with revenue, yeah, it will. But I mean, as far as
if we want to get up there and compete with Tottenham, for example,
I'm not gonna lie though. There are some. Do you think the Premier League pays more because of the stadium?
No, the Premier League don't.
Yeah, so what are you talking about?
The commercial revenue outside the television money from the Premier League.
Yeah, but that's about the revenue overall. We're talking about TV rights, man. Well, I mean, I have heard some people say like looking at the Allianz Stadium, so I don't know. They only look at it for like 5 seconds outside before the game starts. Other than that, there's nothing else to it. But TalkSport, Mighty Wind's favorite, Simon Jordan, believes it's a necessity for Newcastle to build a new stadium. Let's see if we agree with Jordan and Mr. White. Scottish White.
Okay, I think so, and I'm from Glasgow, as Colin is reminding me. Colin, good morning. Jim, are you serious? Both Ibrox and Celtic Park have a better atmosphere than they do in Newcastle. I'm not sure, but is it, Colin, we might have touched on something there. Is it a northern thing? The further north you go, the more febrile the atmosphere. That might be the case. The more febrile, the more feverish, the hotter the atmosphere inside the stadium. Look at it. You get up there. When United were in their heyday, of course, Liverpool at Anfield. And then you go further north, you've got St James's Park. Around that territory in the Midlands, you've got Villa Park, which is a hotbed. Then you go over the border to around my place, to Glasgow, to Celtic Park and Ibrox, and you really are cooking.
But I think it's a cultural thing, isn't it? I think ultimately clubs in the north have been seeded more into the community, have become ultimately more valuable to the community because the community is often challenged by more things, whether it's the degradation of local industry because of the mines being shut down over the years and the society that they come from. There seems to be a better indexing to the clubs than they do in the south. Or is it just because us in the south are more sophisticated and more demure?
Oh, right.
I don't suspect
I
don't suspect that's the case at all. I think it's ultimately, I say, despite my happiness owning Crystal Palace, I often sort of navel gazed about owning clubs like Sheffield Wednesday, where you'd look at because you've got to go up there and go, in this place, these guys can't do enough for you. In London, you've got to get permission for this, permission for that. You know, sometimes the fans have got other things to be doing. There's 10, 12 football clubs within a 10-mile, 15-mile radius. That dilutes the potential energy. And I think there's a uniqueness. In Newcastle's situation, a lot of it is also seeded in, they haven't won anything. So there is a challenge in their minds about being able to achieve things. I mean, the last thing they won was, the Fairs Cup in 1968, am I right? Something of that nature?
Well, the last domestic trophy was in 1955.
Well, there you are.
So there we are.
So we're talking about a club that's got great legends of the past, you know, Jackie Milburns of the world, that people associate as great centre forwards. And it is clearly an environment that is seeded in a sport being so prevalent to the community, but it's been starved of success.
Sure. There's Ian in Liverpool. Jim, St James's Park, okay when they're on top. You want a cracking atmosphere all the time? Goodison Park is the best. You know, I've been at Goodison on many occasions, and it is jumping, I must say.
Well, I think that there's been some difficult times in Goodison Park recently where it hasn't been jumping. In fact, it's been toxic and it's been hostile. And they would say because of justified cause. Yeah. And it's been hostile. It was hostile to the late Bill Kenwright and to that board of directors so much that they couldn't even go in the bloody stadium.
True. On TalkSport this morning, I've just heard Mr. White, that must be me, saying his opinion St James's Park is the best atmosphere as far as stadiums go in the UK. I'm sorry to disagree. It is Anfield every day of every week, says that message sender. Here's one for you. You used the word
great atmosphere.
You used the words febrile.
Yeah.
So feverish, hot atmosphere. Can you name me a stadium in London, say in the southeast, that would fall into that category? A febrile.
I don't think in London they got a stadium like that. I mean, what could it be?
Fulham.
Well, Chelsea, Chelsea on a good day, if that, but not anymore. I mean, with Chelsea of Drogba was something to watch, man. But that's 20 years ago.
Selhurst Park's not bad, you know.
Palace.
It's the old-fashioned. It's like
Selhurst
Fulham,
Park's
isn't it?
very good.
It's like the cottage. It's the old grounds.
I mean, it is bad. It's a complete shithole. It's the worst ground in the Premier League, but it does have. Sometimes those bad old grounds have the best atmospheres.
Yeah.
Palace. Well, I mean, people in the chat said Palace could be the best.
I would say if I was going to pick one for London, Upton Park used to be good.
Oh yeah,
and that's gone now.
That's gone.
But Selhurst Park was
going, and I'm talking about going is erased. Is if it was done on purpose. Poor West Ham fans. But I mean, you can say Anfield, but a lot of people say about speakers. I think that's more better.
Oh.
I think Anfield,
Every time you get something like this, some jackass says Anfield. I'll tell you what happened.
Oh, he's a Liverpool fan.
They all stand up at the start, sing "You'll Never Walk Alone," take their selfies, video them coming out, and then they sit down and be quiet until Liverpool score. And then they go quiet again until Liverpool score again.
It isn't nothing better than St James's Park. I mean, a tackle they celebrate as a goal. I mean, it's unheard of. Unheard of. You get a lot of that in South America, but not in Europe. Not a lot of those. And if you were allowed, I'm an advocate for this, by the way. If we need to do the We Can Smoke party, but for this thing about bringing back flares, man. We need to bring back flares. If we can bring back flares, it will be hell to pay at St James's Park. Let's keep listening.
Forward at times with the Newcastle fans.
Yeah, you
over
put
the
your
ownership
foot in it with them.
No, I stay with what I've said.
All right.
And I do think that Geordie Roar sometimes there was a bit of an illusion, and they were just the same as any other football club, that when they score goals they celebrate. But right now, in this moment in time, that atmosphere was as good as you'll get anywhere. Now, does it make them the best? Well, the best is all relative. I don't think it does. I think it makes them brilliant in their own right.
But it can be a game changer. It was a game changer last night. That crowd played a part in them getting over the line last night.
Yeah, they did. But I think the players and the manner in which Eddie set them up and set them out and set them off was all about the players. And, of course, the fans created the extra energy, and that's brilliant. It's part of the dynamic, and that's what is unique about English football. And I take the argument yesterday about how fans are priced out of it and so on and so forth. But the players were at it as well.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter, you could have had this fever. I mean, there is also a case in point where you say, well, look, you'd have to be especially gifted not to be highly aroused by the atmosphere. But then you've got the other side of the argument with Ruben Amorim going, my players don't want to play in front of their fans at Old Trafford.
Yeah. See, a lot of people say
they're the yeah. Well, that's. I don't know. I have not seen it yet. I mean, I've seen St. James's Park being toxic though. I mean, but like when the Ashley era, I don't think I've ever seen it go back to that, where it's like whistles and a little bit, in away when Tonali wasn't playing. Um, a little bit of that, but with the away fans. Well,
Chris,
actually,
during Calvin, mate, there was nobody singing there.
which well, there, well, there you go. But at least no booze. So that's either. So but as far as like toxic. I mean, I don't think there's anything to be toxic about at Newcastle anyway right now. But
I think it's like every club, and you go around the grounds. I mean, I used to travel with my granddad to lots of grounds across the country, and every ground has the same. You get a point where everybody's watching and nobody's singing. You get a point where a part of the crowd will sing, and then it just knocks onto the rest of them, and everybody gets up. There's lots of quiet times during every period of game. I haven't been to one ground, including Liverpool, regarding what everybody else says, and tells you that it's singing the entire 90 minutes, because that's bullshit.
yeah, it is. It is. No, but I don't think I've ever. I mean, the Scottish teams get crazy though. To be fair,
Yeah, but they
For
spend
2
more
games
time.
a season. Well, for 4 games a season.
4 games a season, yeah.
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 Come on, man. Well, when
The
I
old
went
firm derbies is crazy.
when I went there for Bournemouth. Oh man, it wasn't the old man of the '70s, man. When you had long hair, a mustache,
Getting
and
battered, that's
I
why.
never had a mustache.
a mustache in the flares, man. It wasn't you at the time, man. You were a little bit knackered, but it was also you didn't drink enough. That's also the problem. But so there are moments, but I think as far as the Premier
No,
League,
that's because I was in the company of somebody who wouldn't buy his round.
no, but I tell you what though,
Oh,
Premier League, I must have been Emery. The Premier League, I think Newcastle's got that, but I always remember Leeds, man. Ooh, Leeds is a tough one too, man.
Ellen Road, yeah, on its day.
You don't think so, Jamie? What's wrong with you, man? You're not bothered by it?
yeah. No, I agree with you. I think these have all got good atmospheres on the day. Last time I was at Leeds, the away fans completely outsung the Leeds fans.
Uh,
And that was when John Joe Shelby scored.
When,
Yep.
yeah.
And we didn't hear much from them all that day. And they can take a bad mood and go down and down. They get a bit toxic when they've been in those relegation battles.
yeah,
But it's like Newcastle, the whole city's behind that club, the whole area.
yeah,
And sometimes when they get it right, it's brilliant.
But
And
it's
it's
like a
exactly what Gary
competition.
said. There's no point in saying like the atmosphere here is always better than the atmosphere there. Because we get days like Bournemouth at St James where it's
Yeah, it
flat as a
doesn't
farm.
happen.
just goes
Yeah,
up and
exactly.
up. But
A couple of weeks later, you get the Arsenal game where the crowd practically wins it for them.
Yeah.
My point is when everybody's on their game, I don't think I think St. James's Park is just different, man. It's different.
Well,
Well,
trust
you
me,
can
when I
do
used
that
to
with
go,
with any team, really.
No,
If,
no,
if,
no,
if
you
everything's
cannot.
going.
No.
I have never been, and I'll say this not just because I'm a Magpie fan, I have never been in an away end with better fans than Newcastle fans.
Oh no, but as far
The
as
away
supporters
crew,
are concerned, we
they're
are the
singing
best.
literally on the coaches, on the trains, all the way down
Mhm.
there, and it seems to just continue throughout the game. It's an amazing atmosphere away from home.
Yeah.